ways. Both
well,
ways.
yeah.
Both ways.
And the men as well.
So I think when the money issue is buying the woman a present, you understand? But there are so many ways. That's why we have flowers that you can go and pluck. You don't need to buy them.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? There are little ways of showing love. And no say, you say, do nyaketo obema ono. Ono ni nyakesia.
That's deep. The maestro Coach Eji. He's a love doctor. Okay, there's a special question I want to, because I want to know what Atitia Kuma really means. I don't just mean in terms of the tree expression, but what does it really mean? And we'll come back to you for that answer. But we've been joined on the line, like I said, by the CEO of Dalex Finance, Ken Thompson. The city has been doing some things in the past few weeks. You know, the Ghana city against the dollar. It's really, really, really disturbing. And so we want to get some advice from Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson, I hear myself on the line. If you can please do something about the radio near you for me, I'll be very, very grateful. We want to get some advice from him on how to keep our businesses afloat, our personal finances afloat in this period of CD depreciation. Mr. Ken Thompson, CEO of Dalex Finance, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. How are you, Mr.
I am blessed. And happy Valentine's and Chocolate Day to you.
Yeah, same to you.
Okay. Any special plans? Are you coming for the dinner dance?
No. I'm working. I'm at work. I'm not at work. I mean, you can see the city dropping like a lead fruit, and you're talking about Valentine. I'm working.
Okay.
I'm not at work.
There are so many people who may be thinking like you this morning. And that's why we are having this conversation, really, because the situation that has been created by our current exchange rate is 5.30 this morning. Can you imagine?
No, I can imagine, but I don't know why we fret so much about CD depreciation. The CD will depreciate. It's the rate at which it will depreciate and where we'll get to. And so we really need to move on from talking about CD depreciation and really focusing on what do we do about it.
That's exactly what this conversation is about.
And I say that, there should be one KPI for our leaders. One KPI, key performance indicator. What percentage of air do you export? Do you know over 75% of the containers that come into this country with goods go away empty? One KPI. You can't have an economy which is driven by imports and expect to have a stable currency. So for every government that comes, we say, you know what? The only KPI we have for you is what percentage of air do you export? Full stop.
And by air, you mean an empty container?
Yes. I mean, over 75% of the container, and it's criminal. Over 75%, think about it, of the containers that come in laden with goods go back empty. What do you expect? I mean, for a business, we go through this all the time. It destroys value. It destroys value. You're an importer, and we import everything. You have money, you've imported, you've either sold, and now you can't collect, so your value is gone. You can't plan. Maybe you have suppliers' credits. You have to now get more CDs to pay for the dollars. You're losing money all the time. It doesn't make sense.
Speaking of losing money, Mr. Thompson, take a moment with me and let's listen to this lady who spoke to us earlier about how the CD depreciation is affecting her.
The items I sell, none of it is being produced here in Ghana. And after you've sold, you have to change your money into dollar and then travel and go and bring the goods back. And you can't go at the end of every week, or you have to sell, make sure you have a lot of money. And by the time you say you are changing it into dollars and go and buy and then bring it back, you've lost a lot. Sometimes people buy in bulk. Somebody wants something you don't have, you have to change money and then go buy and then bring it in. I think a week back, yes, somebody requested an amount of goods, and after changing the money to go and buy, we realized we've lost like 6,000 Ghana cedis. 6,000 Ghana. So you can just imagine, it is too much. It is really affecting. In fact, our profits now, we are not earning anything. You have to pay your electricity bill, you have to pay your workers, you have to pay the rent and a lot. And in fact, it is what the government needs to do. He needs to set up and do something about this dollar.
So, Ken, Mr. Thompson, this is someone who sells computer products just down the street from here at Joy FM, and she was telling us how she's lost up to 6,000 cedis to an extent because of the sliding cedi against the dollar. For someone like that, how can the person realistically recoup in the current state of cedi depreciation?
Okay, first, let me take it from one angle before I come to it. You see, when we discuss cedi depreciation, and I hold the press responsible for not moving the discussion forward. Every time we call, say, the Bank of Ghana did this, Bank of Ghana did that, the Bank of Ghana does not produce dollars. The Bank of Ghana can only make the soup with the meat that it has. So what I would like you to do is haul before you the Minister for Agriculture, the Minister for Trade and Industry, Ghana Export Promotion Council, and say, what are you doing to ensure that we fill those containers? That's number one. I mean, with regard to the person trading, I mean, it's a tough one, but you've lost money. You've got to try and collect your cedis as quickly as possible and change into the currency that you trade in. The cedi will always depreciate. The rate at which it will depreciate, I don't know. And all you're trying to do is to find a way to minimize your losses. But you've lost money. Even if I take companies, and there's a bigger issue. If I take companies like maybe Delex, all our business is in cedis. Every day when as cedi depreciates, we lose value. And foreigners are able to buy us for cheap. It destroys value. I mean, it just destroys value. So try and minimize your position, hold your position, try and get some money in the currency which you trade. Look for something to export. Whatever you can export, whether it's, I don't know, not pineapple, whether it's, chewing stick, whether it's, whatever, look for something to export. If you have dollar debt, try and pay it off very quickly if you can. But for those of us who are in cedi businesses, we're sitting ducks. What can I do? I can't do anything about it. I just hope and pray I cut my costs. I know that the value of the cedi in my pocket and in my pocket of my workers has dropped. I know that we are all poorer. But I know also that the only way we can solve this problem is to export ourselves out of it. And that's the issue. Haul before you, and I hold the press responsible. You're always about what's the Bank of Ghana going to do about it? They can only work with the dollars that they have. They don't produce dollars. Haul before you now, this week, Minister of Agriculture, Trade and Industry, Ghana Export Promotion Council, say, what are you going to do about it? And that is the only KPI we should have. What percentage of air are you exporting? That's it. And if we solve that problem, we solve the problem. But every day we say the cedi is depreciating, then there's a lot of noise about it, then people tell stories. It's not going to work. You can't have a stable currency if you import everything.
Thank you.
As I said now, my value is destroyed. What can I do?
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Thompson, for joining us with these very, very practical solutions. Ken Thompson is the CEO of Delex Finance. So he broke it down into what causes this, what is the real solution, and what you can do at your level. For the causes, he mentioned repeatedly how we export air. That means 75% of the containers that come into the country go back empty. We don't export enough. We are always importing. What are the real solutions? Of course, it means that we have to export more. And on a personal level, if you are someone who is affected by the cedi, think of a way that you can export something. So if there's a product you can produce, or there's a service you can render, maybe you are Kojo, you can go out and go and do a concert in the UK. You go and get some pounds and come back, or go and do a concert in the US. You are exporting your talent. So if there's a product you can produce, or a service you can render, that can get you some international value. Maybe it's time to get creative and think about doing writing jobs, rendering services that you can get paid in dollars. That would help you personally and will help the general exchange rate. You're still live on the Super Morning Show. Enjoy. 99.7 FM. It's 25 minutes past 8. We are still here with the maestro, the music man, the legend, Kojo Antwi. And we're going to talk about a bit about Kojo Antwi's musical history, a bit of his musical career. Of course, tonight's Joy FM Lovers Dinner Dance will be featuring, and then we'll get a sneak peek about what will go on tonight. That's coming up after these important messages. Stay with us.
At Afrodan, we believe that many of the problems people have with their health is as a result of the way they sit. In other words, your chair can kill you. Here's Dr. Marcus Mann of the Chiropractic and Wellness Center.
What you have to remember is that the spine is the lifeline to your body.